concept of akhirat term, the hereafter, is a crucial term in the Quran, and belief in it is essential. But what is akhirat? Why does it exist? How does it unfold? And why is it important? The Quran does not refer to akhirat as merely life after physical death. Rather, it represents a continuous process within this life itself. Humans are energy, and energy never dies. Thus, the term Dar al-Akhirah in the Quran does not imply something occurring after death, but instead refers to a perpetual process in this life. The root meaning of akhirat, trade, involves delay or a process of procrastination, a gradual pace moving forward slowly. Nothing in the universe is without purpose. Every being and object has a specific role, a purpose it fulfills, be it the moon, the sun, the air, water, trees, plants, mountains, insects, animals, or birds. Each one of these entities has a role, a purpose, and they fulfill it naturally. They perform their assigned duties, understanding their roles, and carry out their divine responsibilities with inherent awareness. But apart from humans, all of creation knows its purpose, its work, its tasbih, effort or struggle, and its abilities. Every creature knows and fulfills its salat, connection to its own inner guidance, its tasbih, effort or devotion, its ibadat, service of the mind, its sajda, acceptance, love, humility, and its zikar, constant remembrance of God 24/7. Only humans are unaware. They consider themselves superior as the highest of creation, yet fail to understand their own salat, their tasbih, their ibadat, their sajda, and their zikar. Humans think highly of themselves, considering themselves significant and looking down upon other creatures. Addressing akhirat is crucial in this context because it ties into the natural order in which all beings are interconnected. Every creature follows its own inner guidance within, its internal book, so to speak, that grants it understanding. They follow this guidance faithfully, except humans. Humans do not recognize or follow their own inner guidance. They are unaware of it. Instead, they seek guidance externally. Hindus believe their scripture is the Gita. Muslims consider the Quran. Jews adhere to the Torah, and Christians to the Bible. Each group thinks their guidance lies in these texts. However, the Quran emphasizes that each human, indeed every creature, has a book within itself from which it must seek guidance. While every other creature heeds this inner book and inherently knows its remembrance, prayer, and duty, humans remain distracted. They look outward rather than inward, becoming influenced by the external world and attempting to imitate others. Despite each creature having its own role and purpose, which its inner guidance provides, humans overlook this and look externally for validation. Each person should strive to be their own unique self and understand their own inner book, which the Quran refers to as God's book within each individual. This inner book is not written in letters or alphabets. It's a guide in every person's native understanding, accessible to all beings. Every creature, animals, birds, insects, has its own role and purpose, different from others. Similarly, every human is unique, with a distinct inner guide they need to understand. However, people often fail to grasp this because they are distracted by greed, comparing themselves to others, their relatives, friends, neighbors, and society at large. They see others achieving wealth and status, and instead of looking inward, they get caught up in competition, greed, and the race for material success. In this pursuit, they ignore their own inner guide, fail to connect with it, and end up imitating others, looking for their future in others' paths, losing their own identity. The Quran emphasizes the importance of understanding one's own book, reflecting on it, and accepting the guidance that comes from within. Without accepting the guidance of the inner book, according to the Quran, true success cannot be attained. This brings us to the role of akhirat, or the hereafter. The hereafter is a journey, slow and steady, a journey of patience in which one seeks to encounter their evolver. This journey isn't about wealth, property, land, jewelry, or fulfilling desires. According to the Quran, success is found only in knowing and connecting with one's evolver. Some may find this challenging to accept, thinking success lies in material gains. But Islam, as conveyed by the Quran, teaches us that Islam means peace, soundness of mind, and tranquility, all of which are matters of the mind. True peace comes not from money, luxury cars, or fine clothing, but from understanding and following one's inner book, reflecting on it, accepting it as one's guide, and making it one's focus. By doing this, a person receives guidance from the merciful, Rahman, through the divine signs that help them shape their future. However, those who abandon this inner guidance, choosing instead to imitate others and chase after external success, may achieve material gains but remain empty and unfulfilled inside. This emptiness, this sense of disappointment or despair, is what the Quran refers to as Iblis, despair. In the context of the hereafter, it's important to understand that the hereafter is a continuous process. It begins in this life, since the world is but a small and fleeting part of existence, often easy to grasp but ultimately insignificant in comparison. People often think of the hereafter as something that begins after death, but in reality, the world and the hereafter are intertwined. With each breath, your world ends and begins anew. When you inhale, you live. When you exhale, you die in that instant. If a person can no longer take in another breath, they physically pass away. This cycle of breathing in and out is the essence of one's worldly life. The hereafter is not separate from this. It is embedded in each moment, in every breath, intertwined with life itself. The body's physical death occurs, but the Quran does not speak about physical death. Instead, the Quran emphasizes meeting with your Lord, which you must achieve during your lifetime, not after death. If you want to meet your Lord, you must keep your heart alive. The Quran does not discuss death. Rather, it instructs that you must encounter your Lord. In the second or third part, I will reference verses from the Quran to support this. Right now, I am simply explaining that the purpose of life is more than just sustenance. The most essential goal is to recognize your Lord and to know yourself. If you do not recognize your Lord within this life, then after death, when none of your faculties are functioning, and your mind, lungs, kidneys, and liver have ceased, you cannot know God. You were given life, made human, so that you could recognize your Lord. As long as you don't know your Lord, you'll keep coming back. There is no final death, no permanent departure. You must return again and again, changing forms each time. I'll bring forth Quranic verses on this. For now, I'm explaining without them. When I include verses, it adds a different layer. You are energy, and energy does not die. It transforms, changes form, but continues to return. So until you recognize your Lord and encounter Him, you'll keep returning. The Quran is filled with verses stating that you must meet your Lord. This life is given to us for growth, for guidance, and correction. God is not found in mountains or forests, nor by merely reciting praises. His recognition is kept within knowledge. God is called the Lord of all knowledge, because without evolving through knowledge, we do not attain realization. The Quran states that the hereafter is an evolution, a process of personal growth. If the hereafter were only after death, how would evolution occur in it? How could there be creation and progression? This is why the Quran speaks so clearly about the hereafter. It would not be incorrect to say that the entire Quran centers on the concept of the hereafter. The hereafter involves blessings and tests like heaven and hell, which we experience within this life. We may not realize it, but we are all experiencing different kinds of trials. According to the Quran, there are around 27 types of azabs, chastisement, punishment. For example, if someone with diabetes eats sweets, it's a trial for them. If someone smokes, it's a trial. Drinking alcohol is a trial. Gambling is a trial. Being consumed by work is a trial. There are numerous forms of trials. While we may enjoy them, they obstruct our evolution. And without knowledge, there can be no evolution. True knowledge is self-awareness, not just earning money or accumulating wealth. Humans overly give importance to their clothes, savings, relationships, status, and health. Other creatures know their purpose, their role, and perform their work naturally. We are here to meet ourselves and, through that, our evolver. And if we do not recognize God within ourselves while we are alive, We will continue to return until we learn this lesson. So I have provided a brief overview of the hereafter and human purpose. The hereafter is deeply connected to this world. It is not merely an after-death concept. In this world, urgency and haste are common, while the hereafter unfolds gradually. Haste is the way of the deceiver, while this world is fleeting and filled with illusions. The pleasures and lures of this world distract us, yet we prioritize them over our true path.